Hey guys, enter the stars, and thanks for showing up tonight. And apologies for the short delay. September 1st, 2015. And you guys, it's been an amazing ride, and we have some interesting new stuff to share with you guys today. You know, the elites never cease to amaze me, you guys. It's simply unbelievable. And what ends up happening is we get a situation where these elites just are in our faces with this stuff. They're not even afraid to reveal it anymore. It's come to the point now where it seems to me as though they're actually showing off. They're actually putting this stuff right in our faces. Okay. Now, to those of us that are even slightly awake, we see it loud and clear. But the frustration comes when we see that people are not awake at all, and they're just simply sound asleep. And we have to watch as they are just drowning in this disinformation and drowning in all of the effects of this matrix that we live in, you guys. So all we can do is what we're doing. Share this information, get it out there, talk to as many people as possible, all while trying to maintain your sanity, trying to understand that we can make little changes, but the real change comes with all of us working together, all of us that are awake. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if all of us here, this group here on YouTube that has banded together, if we could have complete 100% solidarity and be able to somehow affect the world and change the world? I believe it's possible. But we definitely have to become organized, share this information in a way that people can understand it. And my main goal when I get up each and every day is to try to find a way to communicate what I already know is the truth to all of you, so that you can take it to other people in a rational argument, something that is non-confrontational, yet it gets the point across. And that's what we deal with each and every day. Now, this wasn't a prime time slot for me to do this live chat. It was kind of short notice. I think I picked this up probably a few days ago to schedule this, but I thought it was a good time to come on here and talk to you guys. And then people who cannot see it at this time can actually watch this later. It will definitely be posted to my channel. So I'm glad that we have the group that we do. Hi, Linda. Hi, Insanity is Sanity. Glad you guys are joining us, and whoever else who is not in the chat. And we can go ahead and get started. Now, this is actually going to be, I'm going to actually start sharing my screen in a second here. I'll probably do that now. Probably be a good time to do that for you guys, so we can do a little interactive, so we can see what's going on here. Right on. Let's check the chat here, make sure everything is going good. Yeah, time is flying by so quickly. Hey, Dreadart, how are you? Welcome to the show. Now, this is crazy. Welcome to September 1st, 2015. The rise of the rainbow. Okay. This is what it's been all about since 1973. And Google is at the forefront of that in terms of the internet, as you know, the #1 search engine. Now, what I believe you're seeing here on your screen before your eyes is the final combination of colors all into one G. Okay. So they took all the colors and they combined them into the G. Do you think it's an accident that now the rainbow flag flies high above the White House in 2015? Do you think it's an accident that Google decided to change their logo at this very moment? Now, this goes much deeper than what I'm telling you now. We're going to get into that, about what this logo means, when it changed, the date, and the significance of that. Because, like I said, it's in our faces at this point. Now, the rainbow signifies lots of things. But one thing it signifies for sure is that the yellow is the third of the 7 colors of the rainbow. Now, the word Google only has 6 words in it, and they're using those 6 colors, but there is one more color. Notice that the purple is left out, okay, in the rainbow here. So they go here around the spectrum and they leave out the violet or the purple. That's because purple is the magic color. Purple is the magic color. It is the red and the blue. Okay. So here we have the G with the red at the front and the blue at the back, and those make the purple. And that is the magic color. Now, as you guys know, I don't use any script when I come at you on these live chats. And I don't even use a script when I'm doing my videos that I put out for you guys each and every day. I go by the Holy Spirit and what it impresses upon my heart to speak and say to you. Even at this point, I have no script. I'm just speaking from my heart, you guys. And amazing revelations happen when we can do this. This is when I feel like I'm at my best, and when we can all share ideas and you guys are at your best, because we speak from the heart and we test it. And almost 9 times out of 10, we are seeing the truth. So we have the rise of the rainbow. The red and blue pill mixed together, those two colors form purple. And here we are in 2015, the legalization of gay marriage, the final attack on God's temple. We're at 42 years since Roe versus Wade, and I believe this is the 42 months mentioned in the book of Revelation 13. I was born in 1973. I am 42 years old. And here we are. I was born on March 29th, 329, which is 923 backwards. And there's been a lot of talk about the date of 923. But all of you know my position on that we should not focus on the date. Rather, we should focus on today. Okay? So make sure we're still connected. I'm going to pop back in the chat. Make sure you guys are good to go. Small group today, but hey, it doesn't matter because each and every soul is what matters. One soul at a time, okay? Do Dome have a certain radius? Thanks for speaking from your heart. Amen to that, Linda. Hey, Joanne. Thank you for being here today, you guys. So here we are with Google. And what you're going to notice is that they go through a timeline history. Now, these dates are going to be very significant, and I'm going to make this as simple as possible, okay? Because I know it can get confusing. But the main thing to remember about this, you guys, is they're using the 3 calendars, Gregorian, the Julian, and the Roman calendars, and they overlay these calendars on top of one another. They also like to use mirror dates, dates within dates, and mirror dates of one another. What you're going to see here is they're going to show the progression of the new Google logos. And look at this. Every single change, except for this one, I guess. Wow, look at that. Going back to 1998, the changes have been on September and May. September and May. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to show it to you right now. And this is crazy. Make sure we're still connected. We're still live. Right on. Hey, those of you that have joined, Vinyl is awesome. Hey, how are you? Joanne J, Indigo, Reina. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be one of our best live chats, and I'm glad you guys could make it. We're going to blow this one out of the water, I believe, because we found some bombshell information about why Google changed their logo today. Okay? We're going to get real on this broadcast. I've got some things on the agenda, but as always, it is open to whatever suggestions you guys have. And since we have a small group, we'll be able to answer more questions. Okay, you guys? All right. So what is going on with this other than the red and the blue makes purple? Okay, other than the red and the blue, the beginning and the end of this G make purple. Well, let me explain it to you. G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. Building 7 fell on 9/11. And Building 7 had 47 stories. Now, I got some collaborations coming up that I want to announce to you guys today. And that's why I'm mentioning it now, because it does apply to the number 7 and 47. Nicholson, 1968, as you guys have heard in the past, he and I I've mentioned him on this channel many times. I believe that he and I are on the same page. He and I will be collaborating on September 13th. It is, in fact, one day before the Hebrew New Year, one day before the 2020th year after Christ was born a man on this earth. I'll say that again. September 14th is the Hebrew New Year, Tishri 1, 2020 years after Christ was born a man on this earth. I believe Christ was born in 911, 6 BC. 2020 years later, we have September 14th. So remember, the Hebrew days float because they follow the moon, not like our calendar that does not follow the moon. And September 14th is the Hebrew New Year. And it was the Hebrew New Year on 911, 6 BC, which also forms a perfect mirror upside down and backwards. So what's going to happen on 9/14? I don't know. And what's going to happen on 9/23? I don't know. I know 9/23 is my birthday backwards. And I do know that in the film Now You See Me, in the invitation cards, that this date of March 29th shows up as well. We covered this on previous videos. March 29th, the 88th day of the year, was prominently shown in this film about magicians. Now, I've had some discussions with some people about the future, and if these people can predict the future. And you know, you guys, I just simply don't know. And this is going to be a topic that Nicholson 1968 and I are going to talk about on this channel. Here's our 444. This is everything we've been talking about, you guys. The 44th president, okay? The 144,000 mentioned in the book of Revelation. I did a video actually looking at this address, 45 East Evans Street in New York. Link that back to some other things, but we looked through the gates of this address in a previous video. But this is simply unbelievable because everything we've discovered is about the inner eye. We're going to look at that a little bit too on this video. So Nicholson 1968 and myself are going to collaborate, and we're going to discover some things that he actually discovered, which is pretty amazing. Regarding the number 47 and the number 7. And these are things that Nicholson himself has brought to the table. So I'm going to not dwell on that too much because I don't want to steal the thunder, but it will be a great show on September 13th. So when you see that reminder come through, when you see that come through your feed, go ahead and hit the reminder button so you can be reminded of that event. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be on with Yash Kara on his radio show, and we're going to talk about the book of Enoch. We're going to talk about the 14 evergreen trees that Enoch mentions in that book. We're going to talk about the canonicity of that book and how it fits into the Bible and how it should have actually been included in the canon. I'm going to go into that realm as well. We're also going to talk about the 7 mountain ranges that Enoch talked about 2,000 years BC. Before much of the world had been discovered, Enoch was talking about the 14 evergreen trees, the 7 major mountain ranges of the world, the 7 major river systems, and the 7 islands, he calls them, which are the continents. And it's simply unbelievable that this is largely ignored in history, that an ancient document could have shown all of these amazing things. So we're definitely going to be talking about that on Yash Kara's show tomorrow. That'll be up on Spreaker. I'll probably upload a video. You guys can get into that if you want as well. All right. All right. Let's look in the chat here, see how you guys are doing. I'm glad more people could join. I know it's a little early in the day and it's a weekday. Hopefully the East Coast people can pop on this chat today because we've got a lot of important things to talk about. All right. Wow, that's amazing. Dave, I've told you in the past that you are an amazing human being, and I knew this. And the numbers do not lie. Dave is 37 on the 11th of September. My second wife was born on 9/11 as well. And this 37 number is definitely important. We're all connected. The numbers reveal that, you guys. So here we go. Let's get into this. We're going to start with the new Google logo. We talked about the rainbow. Now, Google has announced that they're unveiling their new logo on September 1st, 2015, which is today. Okay, they go in this little story about it. Here's the new logo. It's basically they took away the serifs. Now, I come from a graphic communication background and marketing from California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo. My concentration was design reproduction technology. We learned about fonts, we learned about Photoshop and everything else. And that's why I can speak with confidence on these subjects when I see photoshopping going on with the media, because I came from the media. Okay. My very first job out of college was at TV Guide. And it was amazing how at the last minute, the publisher would come in and want to change the cover. And we would go into the pre-press and we would look and say, we don't see what's being changed on the cover. Like, what are they changing? Well, now I know. All of this stuff is steeped in the occult, you guys. All this stuff matters. It has to be carefully orchestrated. So what they did with this is they removed the serifs. They call that a sans serif. This is a sans serif font, which means in French means without, or drop the serif. The serifs are the little parts that poke out on these fonts. All right. So they removed the serifs. Okay. What is a serif? Well, a seraphim is an angel. A seraphim is an angel. Now, again, I'm speaking from the Holy Spirit. That just came out of me right now. Do I know if it's the truth? I believe I do know. They're removing the angels' wings. 2014. Pretty crazy. Now, this is the date of September 1st. Going to blow this up for you guys so you can see exactly what's going on now. I just showed you the 44, and now you see me. And now you see that 244th day of the year is September 1st, with 121 days left until the end of the year. And when we do the reverse of that, the 121st day of the year with 244 left, that is May 1st. So Google chose a holy, high, occult holiday to change their logo. I'll say that again. Google chose an occult holy high holiday to change their logo. The Beltane Festival of May 1st is the anti-date of September 1st. This is the highest date on the Druidic witches calendar. May 1st is the Illuminati's second most sacred holiday. Human sacrifice is required. This is the anti-date of the date that they chose to change their logo. And as we just showed you here, they have changed their logo on the September and May dates going back to 1998. Notice they don't tell you the exact date, they just give you the month. Now you know, May and September are anti-dates of one another. May 1st and September 1st. So I wanted to cover that with you guys because that was the bombshell today that I discovered. It's kind of nice doing these live chats because I can just kind of talk. Sometimes it's harder to do a video, you guys, than it is to do this, because here I can just come and talk to you guys, right? When I do a video, I got to bring it into an editor. I got to piece things together and try to make it entertaining for you guys and all that. But the bottom line is here I can kind of just be myself. So let's look in the chat here. Okay, it looks like we have some stuff going on in here. Let's take a look. May 1st. Oh, angels don't have wings. Interesting. Okay. Well, that just jumped out at me. Seraphs. You guys can look that up and see what's going on with that. All right. So now what, you guys? Let's pop over here and talk about our next topic. Now, this will probably be just an hour show. I'll definitely be on here to answer questions for you guys. If there's anything you guys want to get into, I do want to talk about the CERN rainbow universe. This is crazy. Okay. Somebody sent me this link. I can't remember who. Now, they're referencing that CERN had an accident. They created a rainbow universe. So, of course, I did some digging. I found this was the link that they sent me. But then I did some digging and found out that this actually occurred on March 21st. Okay. Now, in that part of the world, from our part of the world, it's March 22nd, and that is 322 Skull and Bones. But what happened was a rainbow universe was created, okay, in the 17-mile wide loop of the CERN super collider. All right. Now, why does this matter? This matters because we were already talking about the rainbow before this happened in 2014. We were decoding the rainbow here. The 3 atoms that make up the 7 colors. The third of 7, that is the 37. Okay, that is the Christ number, I believe. 37 being the 12th prime number. 73 being the 21st prime number, forming a perfect mirror. 12, 21, 37, 73. 12/21 being the darkest day of the year, the day that Christ brought light into the world. He was conceived, and 38 weeks later, he was born a man on 9/11. Those are my beliefs and my opinion. Now, we talked a lot about the rainbow from 2014. We decoded Interstellar. And then we talked more about the Sandy Hook, Kentucky bluebird over the rainbow. These are all videos you guys can click on and take a look at. And then finally, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual flag and how that was flying high over the White House, completing the 42 years. So let's take a look at our next subject, you guys. Let's text the chat real quick. Make sure you guys are rolling okay. See if you guys have any questions. Now, the 3773 is amazing because it forms the Star of David. We'll just continue. I'm going to continue along those lines. This is the 3773 cube star matrix. Okay. Remember the 12th and 21st prime numbers. I know these numbers can get a bit overwhelming for you guys, so I don't like to dwell on them too much. This isn't gematria. This is something different. Okay. Of course, here are some of the videos that I've done. Let's take a look at the images here. Try to pull up 3773 cube star matrix, and here it is here. Okay. Now we determine that this fits inside the inner eye. It actually forms the mathematics of our universe. Okay. This is our inner eye. This is the prison. All right. There are 37 dots inside the cube and 73 total dots inside the star. This is the cube star matrix, 12th and 21st prime numbers. Thought I'd do a quick review of that for you guys. All right, let's take a look in the chat. Make sure you guys are rolling all right. Thanks for coming out. For those of you that just showed up, let's give some shout outs. All right. Let's take a look here. Make sure you guys don't have any questions. Yeah, born in September. Yes, absolutely. Christ was born in September. And the whole 9/11 event was basically a re-crucifixion of Christ. They have to tear down to build up. Tear down religion. You guys notice something in the air since 9/11? Hopelessness. Wow, God couldn't save us. See, this is what they do, okay? They create the red and blue pill. You choose one, you choose religion, and then it fails you, and then you lose hope. That is the goal of the enemy. Do not give in, you guys. Do not give in to that. Understand that God has everything under control and everything is going to be okay. Simply have love in your heart. At the end of the show, I'm going to share some techniques that I use to stay close to God. You guys, there's times, there's ways to do this. There's even ways to pray away ailments. Okay, and I'm going to share that with you as well toward the end of this show. But let's continue along with this. I'll put links in the description. But the Google discovery was definitely a bombshell that they actually changed this logo on the holy high day of Beltane, the anti-date of that, Walpurgis night, the highest day of Druidic witches' calendar, May 1st, the Illuminati's second most sacred holiday, in which human sacrifice is required. Now, are they going to carry out some kind of event today? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't like to try to predict negative things. I simply like to have us exist in the here and now, in the Spirit and the Holy Spirit, and be always prepared, you guys. Well, how do you be prepared? Any master that you're serving that is not God, you need to start to let go of. You need to let go of the beast. You need to live in the moment, live in perfect harmony and peace, and only worship pure love. Okay? That's where we're at with this, all right? And we can talk more about how to do that. It's actually difficult because the tide is moving in a different direction. We are swimming against the tide, you guys. We are swimming against the tide. How? Because the world we live in is evil. The thoughts of men are bad all the time. Okay. On my show tomorrow with Yash Kara, let's go ahead and pull up his channel here, so that you guys will know where to go. I think it's called www.7. I forgot the name of his channel. Let's pull this up here. Yash Kara. It's called like 7 something. Yash Kara. Now this brother right here is on the real. He was an insider in Hollywood. Started to work in the industry, and he and I have kind of joined forces to talk about the real. Okay, behind the industry. Okay, and he does a lot of stuff. He uploads all his stuff to Spreaker. Then it comes here. We did a show together here, and that's doing really well. And we're going to be doing a show tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the Book of Enoch on that show. We're going to also be talking about the VMA Awards. We're going to dig a little deeper. I know that Black Child has covered the VMA Awards. We're going to dig a little deeper and look at some of the other imagery that we found. Okay. And so that's where we're at with that, you guys. If you should sub up to this channel. This is real stuff. Does a lot of the same work I do. Wanted to cover that. Let's check back in the chat. Make sure you guys are good. Yeah, we're going to get to the latter half of the ancient Earth Dome mythology, and that's going to be exciting stuff, you guys, because I found some really good information. All right, so where are we at now? Let's take a look here. So, yes, in fact, we were covering the rainbow long before this rainbow anomaly occurred at CERN. That to me is fascinating. It's actually a scripture in the Bible where God says, I showed you what I was going to do. And I believe that those of us that serve him, this applies to us. He says, he has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And also in Deuteronomy, it says the same thing. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly and love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. And that's what we try to do here. The Bible does say the meek shall inherit the earth. Okay? Not the cocky, not the stubborn, not the ego-driven. It says the meek. And if I can't come at you guys with meekness, then I don't need to be on here. And that's how I feel. So let's take a look here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, White Rabbit. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Thank you, Barry. CERN Rainbow. Yeah, I'll put links in the description. Basically, CERN says that they created a rainbow universe, and we were already talking about the rainbow months before that happened. We were talking all about CERN, you guys, all about CERN. Okay, here's the CERN Film Festival, in which people 8 to 88 got in free. All right. Why is that important? Because Cineglobe was the film festival in which they had a symmetry that everybody was talking about, you guys. Symmetry, the opera, in which they were running through the halls of CERN. Okay. Now, let's type in Cineglobe here. Let's pull this up. Why is this important? Because March 29th is the 80th day of the year. Okay. And here in plain sight, they're mocking us. Now, I don't claim to know everything about CERN. Okay. I'm just a guy. All right. But one thing I do is follow the Holy Spirit. And when God starts revealing stuff to us, we have to acknowledge that, you guys. We have to see what is going on here. So they have the CERN Film Festival on March 29th, the 88th day of the year. This is symmetry. Now, a lot of people did work on symmetry, but everybody conveniently ignored this film festival, which symmetry was introduced through. March 29th, the 88th day of the year, ages 8 to 88 get in free. Now, you can't tell me that this was an accident. Okay. This is all the work we've been doing. Okay. So if there's any doubts in your mind that there isn't truth on this channel, hopefully those are all put to rest, you guys. Now, I'm still trying to get my hands on this other film that was released during this film festival, and it was called The Circle. Okay. I've reached out. I've asked them for, access to this documentary. It's called The Circle. Let's see if we can pull it up here. The Circle Cineglobe. They did have a viewing of it at Cineglobe. Again, Cineglobe's the film festival. That's the opera Symmetry came out in. Here's The Circle. Okay. It's all about the people that live on top of the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Yet, we have not been able to view, I don't think anyone's viewed this documentary. We need to get a hold of this, you guys. Somehow, some way. That will be a bombshell. I'm sure there's clues in that. Let's pop back in the chat. Make sure you guys are good. Okay. Right on. And the downsides of the ball. Okay. Right on. Okay. Here we go. Let's pop back over here. See what we have going on with our next topic. Guys, think of some questions that you might want to ask. We can kind of handle that probably toward the end of the show. And let's see here. Please remind me if I've forgotten to talk about anything or anything you guys would like to talk about. The group's pretty small, so I think we'll be able to get on that. So here's some more information on this rainbow that was created by CERN. Let's blow this up. Now, this happened on April 1st. Now, what is the significance of April 1st? Well, it actually didn't happen on April 1st. It happened on March 21st, which is 3/22 in some parts of the world. There's your skull and bones. But it was posted on April 1st. Now, as I've told you guys, we just talked about March 29th being the 80th day of the year. Well, 3 days after March 29th is April 1st. This would have been the day that Christ was raised from the dead. He was crucified on March 29th, the 80th day of the year, and risen in 3 days. That's April 1st, which is why they call it April Fools, because we are the fools, right? And they said that while the Large Hadron Collider was warming up on March 21st for another round of experiments, Circuit controlling one of its massive magnets shorted out. Oh, lo and behold, an accident. Yeah, right. Dismayed, scientists began repairing the equipment, hoping for a short delay. Just yesterday, CERN announced that the LHC could restart within days. Then the unexpected happened. As physicists were testing the repairs by zipping a few spare protons around the 17-mile loop, the CMS detector picked up something unusual. The team feverishly pored over the data and ultimately came to the unlikely conclusion in their tests they had accidentally created a rainbow universe. Now, on March 22nd, I was around. I was doing videos. Why didn't we see this at this time? I believe it was probably underreported. So now we caught it. So that's why we're covering it now, you guys. It says rainbow universes were pure speculation before this happened, said Jessica Cernisky, the CERN physicist who was overseeing the warm-up procedures. We had some solid math backing us up, of course, but none of us ever dreamed we would live to see this day. Now, what's up with the rainbow? Well, we covered that on our rainbow video. But let's take a look at the rainbow. A rainbow, let's look at the Wikipedia article on this. We'll do a quick recap on this. Can only be viewed at 42 degrees. I'll say that again. The rainbow can only be viewed at 42 degrees. Why is that important? Because 42 was in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as the secret to the universe. And as we just showed you, 42 years after 9/11, Google decides to change their logo with the rainbow. Rainbow can only be viewed at 42 degrees. Look at all these 42s in here, you guys. And Google has decided to change their logo 42 years after 9/11. All of this fits together like a glove. It can't become any more clear. Here's the 42-degree spectrum of all light of the rainbow. Christ is the yellow. He is the third of 7 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's your 37, your 12, 21 cube star matrix, the 12th and 21st prime numbers, 37, 73. It's all there hiding in plain sight, you guys. Fascinating stuff. Why we've been given this information is because all things will be revealed in the last days. Nothing will be hidden, you guys. Nothing that was hidden will not be revealed in the last days. All right. To me, this is exciting that God has chosen all of us to be part of this. Everyone here in this chat right now, you guys are all part of this. Each and every one of you that has contributed information to this channel to help us find the truth is all part of this miracle. And we are witnessing a miracle as we speak right this very second. All right. So let's check the chat and see what is going on. Thanks, Susan, for joining us. Sorry, this will be definitely available on my channel. It'll upload automatically after the chat's over. You can catch the first part of this. Thanks for showing up. All right. So what are we going to talk about next here? Okay. Ancient Earth Dome mythology. Now, while I'm talking about this, you guys, go ahead and think of some things you want to talk about. When I pop back to the chat, if I missed it, if it's higher up in the queue, just retype it, copy and paste, and retype it. We can get to that, okay? Let's talk about this first. Okay, as you guys know, this recent incident with the actors, with the lady that was shot in the news, um, the news station by the individual supposedly shot. I don't believe she was actually shot. I've seen videos of people shot with a Glock before. They don't simply run away. They're actually like knocked down. There's actual like pieces of flesh flying off of them. There's blood everywhere. And we saw none of that. We saw like an air gun. Okay, that's what we saw. All right. And what they do is they have all this stuff already set up in Hollywood, okay? They have guns that sound like guns that just shoot air out to give the same effect. But what we also know is the agenda behind all this. And we've also what we know for sure is that there are actors in this situation. We know that the quote unquote boyfriend, which is not the real boyfriend, was and is an actor. We know that her father was and is an actor. So if all these people around this woman's life are actors, how do we know that this is the truth? I mean, let's use common sense here, you guys. Let's not beat around the bush. And I do know that some of my peers are out there saying that this really did happen. But how can this really have happened for sure if there are actors surrounding this entire event that we know for sure actors? They don't even deny it. We show them they're shown in skits and everything else. Broadway, as I just showed on my last video, the father of this woman was in a Broadway show, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Okay. And most recently was in Les Miserables, which Dutch Sense brought up as he commented on a video about that. Okay. So these people are current actors in Hollywood and Broadway. So how do we know these events are real? And if we don't know they're real for 100% certainty, then how can we base gun legislation on that, on what we don't know is real or not? We do know that the NDAA said that it was legal to use propaganda on American citizens and that this was passed just a few short years ago. Let's look that up. NDAA Act Propaganda. So when your friends and family who you try to show this stuff to tell you we're crazy, you simply show them this. This is the kind of information that we need to be sharing with people. Okay. That they have legalized the use of propaganda to deceive you, to trick you, to make you agree with laws, because once you agree with the law, you hit the wall, which is law backwards, and you give up your rights. They convince you to give up your own rights. This is the National Defense Authorization Act that justifies propaganda to American citizens by any means necessary. Don't know about you, but I don't believe anything I see on TV anymore. Okay? That's where we're at with that. Now, this is why they killed Michael Hastings. Because according to Michael Hastings, the new law would give sweeping powers to the State Department and Pentagon to push television, radio, newspaper, and social media onto the U.S. public. It removes the protection for Americans, says a Pentagon official who was concerned about the law, removes oversight from the people who want to put out this information. No checks and balances. Of the chat. Let's take a look here. Uh-oh, I think we just dropped off. You guys with me? Let's do a test. Apologies, they hit my internet again. Let's make sure you guys are here. This happened last time, you guys. Anytime we start talking about real stuff, they come in and mess with us. Let's make sure we're live. Uh-oh, let's refresh this. All right, we should be rolling again. Looks like it says we're live. You guys there? Okay, cool. There we go. Awesome. This is how they roll, you guys. They have control of Ooh. Oh, look at this. They muted me again. It's exactly what they did last time. Okay, we should be up and going. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, let's start over. Let's see, we're live. You guys there? Okay, cool. Right on, you guys. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you is if you ever guys have a hangout, a Google Hangout, you want me to join, I wanted to give love to Ed Brooks. He invited me on a Google Hangout, and I joined him and his friends. Got to know some new people, so I appreciate that. So I will definitely send me a link, and I would love to pop in on your chats and just answer any personal questions you guys might have. But Ed wanted me to talk about healing and prayer and all that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that's going to blow your mind. Okay. As you approach perfect love in your life, however that may be, as you approach kind of cleaning out your closet, so to speak, getting rid of the cobwebs, letting go of sin, having perfect forgiveness for those of you who have wronged you, then a strange thing starts to happen. It's almost like our link to heaven becomes strengthened, and it's almost as if we're starting to exist in two dimensions as we approach Christ's return. Okay. So we're in the material, but we start to enter the spiritual. This is how all these things are revealed to me on this channel each and every day, you guys. Some people are skeptical. They're like, how does this man do it? How does he find all these things? How can he be so strong? How can he do these things? I take no personal credit for that other than I've made a choice to be who I am for God. Okay. No matter what, no matter what ridicule I go through, who I lose in my life, I already know the truth. So as you start to approach that level of spirituality, which is simply trying to have perfect love in your heart in each and everything that you do, how you interact with your children, how you interact with people around you, your love of God, your desire for truth, as you reach that point, you start to feel as though you have one foot on this planet and one foot in heaven. Now, I've never floated off the ground or anything. It's not like that. It's different. It's just that you start to know things. You start to see things. You start to have perfect peace in your heart and in your life. And another thing happens. God actually can heal you from your ailments in real time. I'll give you an example. I was laying in bed one day and I had a severe headache. Okay. These things happen because of outside forces. I'm a strong believer that a lot of this stuff is coming down out of the air. through our cell phones and the airwaves, through chemtrails. We are under physical attack in this physical realm. But it does say in the book of Revelation that in the last days, those closest to God will not be affected by many of these plagues. But in order to do that, you have to at least try to eradicate sin from your life. And the Holy Spirit will always help you do that. Okay. So I was laying in bed, I had a headache, and I had this visualization in my head that something was actually like clenching the middle of my brain and squeezing it. And I said, I don't want this headache anymore. And simply the hand released itself. And as it released itself, the headache went away. Now, all that can be characterized as a miracle, because who do you know that can make a headache go away? Okay, yeah, it's a simple headache. It's not like I cured cancer or anything. But if you simply lay there and be still and know that he is God, be still and know that he is God. He has perfect control over your health. Okay. Now, this requires faith. Okay. But faith comes along with knowledge, and knowledge is power. And so that is how my personal experience with health and just generally not feeling well sometimes. Lay in your bed, focus on the perfect love of Christ. Just lay there and just feel what he had to do for you to be here, for the whole human race to be saved from the evil one. And when all that love pours into you, perfect love casts out all fear. I believe it casts out everything as well. And you will feel better. Now, this works for many things. You know, if you have a person across hundreds of miles away that you care about, you can just pray and send them love beams of love and healing and joy. And all of you have experienced when you're thinking about someone and all of a sudden they call you on your cell phone. That's real, you guys. That's not just made up. That's a real synchronicity. That's God showing you that he's there. And we deny these things and we write them off as chance. But it's not chance, you guys. It is real. And if you just take a moment, just take a step back and look at what's going on, the faith is there. Okay? It's there, you guys. It's there. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I feel my moments closest to God in the hours of the morning when I wake up, just before the sun comes up. It's like it just pours over me, and it's amazing. And you can experience that too, you know, and it starts with baby steps. You know, you're not going to get there tomorrow or next week. This is commitment, a daily commitment to the Lord. Okay. So I love each and every one of you guys. Let's check the time here. Wow, we've been going for an hour. That's good. All right, let me check the chat and make sure you guys are good. Mr. Two Scoops, the cynicism is okay because we're not supposed to love this world. We're supposed to be cynical of this world. The world sucks, man. I mean, the only thing that gives us hope is outside of this world. But what we have to realize is that we have to forgive people, for they know not what they do. All right. So you can have cynicism of the sin, but not the people, because they don't know what they're doing. They're like children. All right. And that's perfect love, just like Christ. You know, I used to go through my life angry and cynical and mad, and I'm going to get mine. And I never understood that the scripture where Christ said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. But over the last couple of years, it all started to make sense. And I truly have pity and sadness for those who are locked in the beast. And that's my goal, is to try to show them that, hey, you're just in a hamster wheel. You don't even realize it. You're running around in a hamster wheel. You're building your house on sinking sand. The sand is falling beneath your feet. You don't even realize it. You need to make your house in heaven on the rock. Okay? That's where we're at with that. Cassiopeia, I understand depression. I've been there. When you pick up your cross, you give up everything that you thought was important to you in this life. And you realize that what you were attached to is going to be a millionfold more beautiful in heaven. And you start to store your treasure in heaven. And then you're able to let go of all the loss that you have here on this planet. I'm going to share a personal story with you guys. Okay. And I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. I don't have the relationship that I want with my children. I think I shared this in my testimony. I have 2 children. I have a daughter who's will be 20 years old on Tishri 1 this year. 2020th year since Christ was born a man on this earth. She's in film school. And that's kind of weird for me because look at the work that I do. But there's the hierarchy in heaven is completely different than the hierarchy here on earth. Okay. Everyone wants to talk about Kim Kardashian here on earth and how slutty these performers can be and all this stuff. Okay. That's the hierarchy here, how much money somebody can stack up. But the hierarchy in heaven is completely different. And many of the people that are in this chat right now in this room are at the top of the hierarchy in heaven. I don't know each of you individually, but it's completely different. And here on this physical plane, we can actually kind of feel that because we let go of yearning after the world's standards, the world's hierarchy. We don't care how much money we make. We don't care who's popular. We don't care what's new and exciting because we already know that we have one foot in heaven. Okay. And so I do have a son as well. He just turned 16th on 6/16 this year. And many of you have a lot of these strange synchronicities within your life. Big Brummy just told me he's turned 37 on 9/11. Okay. This is what's going on. Mathematics show us God. Okay. But the enemy will also try to use mathematics because he wants to be like the Most High. So he's going to show you some of the same synchronicities. How do you know the difference? It's all about intent. Love in your heart. Love in other people. Do you see love in them or do you not? That is how you know. Okay. And we all know love. We all know what that means. All right, let's pop in the chat. Make sure you guys are good. This is very good. Okay, let's get to the last kind of part of this. And like I said, you guys go ahead and pop in whatever suggestions you want for things you want me to talk about, you guys. I'm going to be covering a lot of this stuff on Yash Kara on his radio show tomorrow. And then I'm going to be covering more stuff on with Nicholson 1968 on September 13th. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. Don't look too fast on what we're going to be talking about. Nicholson 1968 was showing me the basketball court and the dimensions. And I'm going to pop off of that. And we're going to get into that in depth with Nicholson 1968. All the dimensions of the basketball court in code 923 and 911. And we'll get into that in depth when I have him on a hangout, and we'll publicize that live. Okay, you guys. Apologies, but I do need to use the restroom. I'll be right back with you guys in 90 seconds. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. It was an emergency. All right. Let's check in the chat real quick. Make sure you guys are good to go. All right. Yes. The basketball, you guys, this goes so deep. This is, you know what we're going to do before we get into the last part of this? I'm going to show you playing cards. Whoops. See, this is what happens. Playing cards. Why is my computer not working? All right. Playing card. All right. Ready for this? Standard 52 card deck. All right. This is just real truth on the fly, you guys. Now, 26 and 26 is 52. We talked about 226, February 26th, the day of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. We talked about the fact that 226, February 26th, the anti-date of that is 11/4, which is Egyptian Valentine's Day. There's our heart. Okay, we covered this on a previous video. Bicycle makes the playing cards. They're like the number, they have like the #1 market share on playing cards. Ooh, local manufacturer of cards until August 4th. That's Barack Obama's birthday. You guys see how the Holy Spirit works through this stuff? This is Barack Obama's birthday, 1 year before he was born to the day. Okay. Talking about playing cards. Now you know why Oprah Winfrey says that he is the one. Okay. Because he is the one. Oprah backwards is Harpo. She has Harpo Studios. I'm going to decode the color purple tonight. Purple is red and blue pill mixed together, and there were bees in that movie. There will be definitely clues. This is what I wanted to draw your attention to. The standard length of a playing card is 88 millimeters. 88 millimeters is the standard length of a playing card. What else do we have? We have the 8-ball billiards. Let's look at billiards. The 8-ball. I believe the average length of a billiard table is 8 feet. And the 8-ball is the last ball you need to hit into the pocket. Okay. So all of this stuff is related. Baseball, 8 players and 1 pitcher. There's a cube diamond. Okay. The diamond is the cube. Where do you go when you strike out? You go to the dugout. What's the dugout? The dugout is the grave, right? You go to the grave. So all this stuff makes sense. Hey, take care. Take care, roaching it up. Thanks for joining us. All right. Right on, you guys. I know some of you guys got to leave. All right. So let's just get caught up here. Let's get to the last part of this. Now you guys got to make dinner and all that. Ancient Earth Dome mythology. Kind of saving the best for last for you guys on this. We'll wrap it up here after we cover this. Unless you guys have any other questions. Thanks, Ed, for reminding me about healing. Okay. Try that tonight. If any of those of you who get migraine headaches, which is becoming more and more common these days, simply lay in your bed and focus on the fact that something is like causing that tension in your head. And hopefully God will release that. Okay, the Bible teachings that the heavens were a solid dome embedded with stars. Okay, now this article goes over some of the ancient mythologies and cosmologies regarding this subject, and I thought this was simply fascinating. So Sumerians taught hymns and myths that provide a picture of the universe. The Sumerians believed that a primeval sea existed before anything else, and that the heaven and the earth were formed within it. The boundary between the primeval sea and the earth was a solid vault within which was the gas-like atmosphere. The stars, planets, sun, and moon were embedded in this solid vault. And this is everything that we teach here on this channel, okay? That the stars are embedded into a canopy, okay? Each of the four major Sumerian deities was associated with one of these regions. I'm not all sure about these deities. I'm not even sure if this part is biblical, because remember that the enemy is going to try to counterfeit all knowledge, right? So we never know the whole truth, but we can gather the truth by looking at everything and piecing it all together. The Greeks also believed in this canopy of stars. They described the heavens as a felt cap that turned on its head with the stars fixed to the surface like nails. Okay. The Jews also believed in this same intergalactic model of the stars. Some of the Jews endorsed the solid dome cosmology. Josephus said after this, on the second day, he placed the heaven over the whole earth, the whole world, and separated it from the other parts, and he determined it should stand by itself. He also placed a crystalline firmament around it and put it together in a manner agreeable to the earth, and fitted it for giving moisture and rain and for affording the advantage of dews. Crystalline firmament, I believe this is the inner walls of the eye. And of course, early Christians, it says here, Theophilus of Antioch, a 2nd century Christian, wrote that heaven was a dome-like covering, for the spirit, being one and holding the place of light, was between the water and the heaven, in order that the darkness might not in any way communicate with heaven, which was near God before God said, "Let there be light." The heaven, therefore, being like a dome-shaped covering, comprehended matter, which was like a clod. Okay, so the clod is like earth. That's all of us descended into this material realm. We have the black covering of embedded with stars, and behind that is the glory of heaven, but we just cannot see it. It's the valley of the shadow of death. Okay. So we have all these historical references to heaven. Okay. I'm going to link this in the description box, but I wanted to share this with you guys. Let's see here. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit here. Let's go back into the chat. Make sure you guys are good. Let's turn this off. All right. Let's see what you guys have to do here. You guys got your own little conversation going on here, huh? Baking soda in distilled water. Yes. This will actually lower your pH. Thank you, Ed. I've tried this before. Hey, did you get any side effects from this, Ed? Because I got headaches when I did this. I had these pH strips I'd urinate on, and it would show me that my pH was immediately balanced after mixing a tablespoon of baking soda into distilled water back down to a basic level. But then what would happen is I would get I didn't feel right after that. I felt like got like a headache, head got a little bit heavy, thinking I was going to feel better, but I wasn't feeling better. I felt actually worse. So curious to see what you found on that. Because yes, you can normalize your pH with a tablespoon of, you want to get the non-aluminum natural baking soda. Okay, don't get the regular Arm & Hammer baking soda. It's not going to help. You got to go to a natural food store, and you got to take a little tablespoon, put it in a glass of water, mix it up. Oh, small amounts. Okay, that makes sense. All right, because I'm like, I like to power through stuff, so I just raises your blood pressure. Oh, yeah. So, all right, cool, right on. All right, so you guys, that's pretty much wraps it up. Just mark your calendars when you get the dates of Nicholson and I's chat that's coming up. Go ahead and set the reminder for that so you can join us for that. I'll stay in a few more minutes to see if you guys have any other questions that we can answer. Kind of open mic right now. Let's see here. Who wants to consider normal steams? Okay. Vinegar doesn't. Oh, that sounds more natural. Baking soda is like, man, that's just like lead. I like to eat cookies. Cookies are good, and I put baking soda in them. One time I put too much baking soda. I thought, well, at least it's normalizing my pH. That's cool. Then I thought, well, I got a bunch of sugar in it too, so I don't know if that's helping me. And butter. Red Mill, yes, Red Mill. Oh, you guys, go to Vitacost. I'm gonna type that in the chat. Vitacost.com. When I had a normal job, other than YouTube, I'd go and order a bunch of stuff from there. They got stuff really, really cheap, you guys. Hey, you're awesome too, Vinyl. Awesome, love you guys. And I went to Vitacost, and you can get like, okay, let me tell you my favorite products on there that I used to get. I don't order the stuff anymore because it's, you know, it is more expensive than going to the grocery store, but there's a lot of organic stuff on there. Okay. So if you like coconut water, I went on there and I got like coconut water because my son loves coconut water. So I don't see him very much, but sometimes I'll drop off a case of coconut water to him, you know, and he loves that with the pulp in it. They got that. They got these cereals that are really good. It's not really a cereal. It's called a what is it called? It's called like a it's like a trail mix kind of, but you can use it as cereal. You can just pour milk in it, and it's like the best. It has like dried fruit in it and pressed corn, like organic corn. It's all organic. And I get that off of Vitacost as well. What else do I get on there? Oh, they have jerkies and stuff like that you can get. They have those bars, those organic bars that you can get that don't taste good. I think it's called Kind bars. They don't taste good to most people, but I like them because it's all organic. But go to Vitacost. They got sales and deals, and they ship it right to your house, you guys. I'd go on there and usually spend about 50, 60 bucks. They ship a bunch of stuff to my house, and I don't eat much anymore, so it kind of would last me for like a month. For a while too, last year when I was working in the B system and I had a little bit more money, I would order from another site called they had like organic meat and stuff like that from like Wisconsin. They got places that'll ship you like fresh frozen organic beef and stuff like that. Costs a little bit more than what's in the store, but you know, if you're really kind of sensitive to what's bought in the store, and if it doesn't taste good to you or you feel like you're getting sick from it, there are places online where they claim to be hormone free, organic, grass fed, and everything. And you can order it, and like you can get beef patties for almost the same cost, and it's shipped to your house, which is kind of cool. Okay. All right, let's look through the chat here. I just want to give you guys some suggestions. These are some things that I've done in the past. I'm not doing them now because I'm on a fixed income right now. I'm trying to save up for this farm. And pretty soon I'm going to have this farm, and then I'm going to be doing a lot of my YouTube videos on my farm. You know, you guys are going to get to see me and see the person in my life. And we're going to be building gardens together and you know, showing you some earth systems. They have condensers that can pull water out of the air, even in arid environments. Also, we can look at solar. You know, there's a lot of fear mongering out there about solar and earth systems. People are saying they're not reliable. You can't get what you need out of it. You guys, look, we live in a consumer-based society. Why do you think that they promote gas guzzling cars and all that stuff? Now, I'm not a hippie. I am in some ways, but look, if you want to drive a gas guzzling car, that's your right. And I'm not going to say the whole world should be this or that. Okay. But they've brainwashed us into basically consuming all we can. Okay. That's why many Americans are overweight. We consume because why? Because it tastes good, and because we can afford it. Right. But let's start to think about things in a different way. Okay. Let's think about how we can live just live within our normal biorhythm. Okay. Everybody who's had a goldfish before knows what can happen if you accidentally sprinkle too much goldfish food into the tank. Goldfish will eat itself to death. Okay. Um, Same thing applies to a hamster. If you put too much food in the hamster cage, they're going to fill up their jaws until their jaws almost explode, right? Okay, so humans, we were kind of cursed and blessed with knowledge, okay? But sometimes that knowledge works against us. And when a shortage is created, okay, we can tend to want to hoard and eat too much and do all those things. But if we simply be still and know that He is God, and know that there will be food tomorrow, and know that we're going to have enough money to be okay, and if we know all those things, then a strange thing happens. You start to live in your zone. It's no different than like athletes who live in the zone. You know, they talk about the zone. Well, as humans, we have a natural biorhythm zone. What's pulled us out of that zone is the synthetic system that we're locked into. That's pulled us out of our zone by creating fear, by creating shortage, okay? Manufactured shortage. The simple fact that gas might go up 10 cents in a weekend might make you eat too much. Why? Because it's a subliminal thing, okay? All the fear we see on TV and movies, it's a subliminal fear that kind of permeates through us, and then it causes us to pull us out of our natural biorhythm, all right? Okay, so how do we get back into our natural biorhythm? We're still and we know that He is God. That is the way we do it, all right? Let's make sure we're still connected here. Okay, I think we're good, you guys. Yes, eat when you're hungry, sleep until rested, drink when thirsty. I would add to this, Mike, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can add to that, but those are the basics. Okay. And that's what we do. You guys, okay, let's try this. Let's all do this together. Okay. And then when we come back on the chat, I want to hear you guys' results on this. Okay. For any of you that are struggling with obesity and stuff like that, or you're not the weight that you want to be, I want you to pick up your fist and hold it up in front of your face. Okay. That is the size, the normal size of your stomach. All right. Now, on your plate, imagine that any food that you have is that size. Now, think about density of food. Okay. Density, a steak is going to be your solid fist, right? But if you have salad, that could be 4 times the size of your fist, because when you squish it all together, like for instance, if you boil down spinach, it's going to be the size of your fist, right? So think about the things in those terms, that a lot of food holds a lot of water. And when you shrink it down, that is the amount that you can eat. It's the size of your fist. Okay. God gives us the keys, you guys. He gives us the keys to balance in our life. We ignore it because we're locked in the beast. We forget how to live. Okay. And that's when we get into trouble. That's when we start getting ailments and disabilities and diabetes and all that stuff. Okay. So you've got your fist. You can eat a whole plate of salad. You know what I do? I grab, my mom goes and buys these giant bags of salad at Costco, because I told her, Mom, I don't eat, just give me spinach. That's all I can eat. I mean, it sounds funny. I'm not Popeye or anything, but honestly, you guys, if you can eat whole food in any way, form, or fashion, that's the best thing for you. Now, it doesn't mean you can't mix in other things that aren't whole and unprocessed, but the bulk of your diet should be 5 handfuls of spinach a day. If you need to, wake up in the morning and eat 5 handfuls of spinach. Get it out of the way. Have your coffee, eat 5 handfuls of spinach. You would be amazed at how those 5 handfuls of spinach will regulate your body and your weight. It's simply amazing, but most people cannot eat 5 handfuls of spinach. They just can't. So try it. Think about your fist. That's the size of your stomach. If you're eating anything more than that, you're stretching your stomach. You're eating more than you need. Now, why am I saying this? It's not because we all need to look like Tom Cruise. We don't all need to look like that. Okay, nor can all of us look like that. But a funny thing happens when you start to live your life in balance. You get sick less. You are less lethargic. You have more energy. All of the body systems are built on cycles. If you throw that cycle out of balance, which is what the B system does, we get a barrage of imagery about food. So if you're sitting in front of the TV, you're going to see chocolate commercials. You're going to see all these food commercials, cooking shows, all this stuff. And what is that going to do? It's going to make you hungry. What are you going to do? You're going to go eat. You're going to go fill that desire with food. Okay. So here's what you do. Now, this is tough for the first 10 or 20 minutes after you eat that fist-sized meal. But I guarantee you, 10 or 20 minutes after you eat that fist-sized meal, you will be satiated. You just have to get over that hump. And if you have to, pound a couple bottles of water afterwards. This is not starving yourself, you guys. This is not starving yourself, and it's not fasting. And before you know it, you will be eating less than 1,000 calories a day, maybe 1,200. You don't need 1,500 or 2,000 calories a day. Okay? Now, I go in spurts in terms of my activity. I go like days where I'll burn 1,000 calories. Okay, I'll go and fish or whatever, or hang out. But most of the time I'm doing this for you guys, you know. But God's told me, hey, you can do anything. You're a human being. You have the knowledge. You could sit all day and work for me, but then you can't eat as many calories. Okay, everything's balanced. So for me, I only need 1,000 calories a day. But if you're an athlete, you might need 1,500 or 2,000 calories a day. But it has to be the right calories, all right? Now, I guarantee you guys, anything that you do, okay, let me see. Do you crave protein? Yes. Okay, so how I handle my protein? I'll have an omelet, and it's pretty much vegetarian with a little bit of meat in it, a tiny bit of cheese. Usually eat half of a 3-egg omelet in the morning. I just eat until I'm not hungry anymore. I don't eat until I'm full and I can't walk. I just eat until I'm not hungry, until that feeling of starvation goes away. Okay, that's all you need. And then an amazing thing happens. You fall into this weird balance and you don't get tired after eating meals anymore. Okay. So you guys, and I'm not skinny, but I'm not fat either. I think I'm 6'2". I weigh about 225. I got some muscle on me from working out when I was younger. All right. But I feel like I'm at a pretty comfortable weight. But those are just some suggestions, you guys, that'll help you. Okay, I'm going to talk about social eating. Okay, many people eat out of social pressure. Okay, you go to the restaurant. This is the game. Okay, this is the beast manipulation to keep you as a slave, right? They charge you a lot of money. Why? So that you'll eat everything on your plate because you want to get your money's worth. And then you're big, right? You gain weight from that. Okay, imagine if you could go into a restaurant and get a child-sized portion for, instead of $15.99, $6.99. They bring you out a little bit of food, and hey, if you're still hungry, you can order another small portion for another $7.99. Imagine how differently your eating habits would be if you could have that choice. But no, when you go in a restaurant, what do? No, you can't get the child portion unless you're a child. Well, the child portion's too big for the child, but it's just right for the adult. See, so it's all worked in to make everybody fat. It's worked in to make the children fat and the adults fat, because you get that big portion, and then now there's all this social pressure not to take away a doggy bag. Why do you think they call it a doggy bag, you guys? It's all subliminal programming. The doggy bag is to make you feel embarrassed that you're taking away part of your food. They named it like the worst possible thing they can name it. Here's your little doggy bag because you weren't a good little boy or girl and you didn't finish your food. So you go with the dog or you feed it to the dog. Social pressure is the main reason for obesity. Some people live their entire lives around meals. I was one of those people one time in my life. Meals, what are we going to do next? We're going to go eat. Let's go eat. Luckily, God gave me this, what I do now. And so I love hanging out with you guys. I don't think about eating all the time. I think about making videos and spreading truth. Okay. Make sure you guys are still with us. Right on. Okay, cool. All right. So I don't know how we went off on that tangent, but I just thought it was really important to talk about that, you guys. Yes, dog tags. Exactly. Ed, right on. You guys make sure you come on tomorrow. I'll put a Spreaker link to Yash Kara. I'm going to be on a show. For many of those of you that don't know, Black Child uses a lot of his work, his voice in his videos. And Yash and I are definitely going to be talking about some of these things that we talked about tonight, but in more detail, get a different perspective from him. He's a brother in Christ, so that's cool. Appreciate everybody that showed up. I know it's tough during the week, but someone had asked me to come on this day or yesterday, and I just wanted to kind of meet that need so that everybody has a chance to kick back, and talk about this stuff. Really love this chat. If it was up to me, you guys, I'd have each and every one of you in the Google chat. I know it'd be chaos, but we'd have a lot of fun, right? It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. Let me pull this up. Let's take a look here. What is this here? Why did that show? Let's see here. I don't even listen to any of this music. I was going to play some music for you guys, but let's take a look here. Let's look in the chat here. And you guys, hey, I like sweets. I like peanuts. I snack a bit, but it's yeah, Yash is a good brother. Yes. Just a matter of hey, what would make this fun for you guys? I mean, should we get some different people in here in the chat with me in the hangout? Maybe we'll have like special guests, or maybe even one of you guys. Maybe Ed wants to come on here with me. Maybe that'll be entertaining. Part of this is entertainment too, you guys. I mean, I'm just a guy. I'm actually pretty boring. It's kind of funny because I tell people I'm kind of a boring guy. They're like, no, you're not. But I feel inside, I feel boring. But a lot of this stuff's very important, But maybe what we'll do is we'll add some people to the hangout, and maybe that'll be something fun to do as well. Okay. Everybody tonight, go to your grocery store, buy the giantest, biggest bag of spinach you can find, stick it in your refrigerator, and anytime you get hungry, grab a handful of that, and it will help curb your appetite. All right. Let's see here. I'm really loving these comments, you guys. This is pretty funny. Let's see here. All right. We're gonna kind of cut this short. It's 4:30. We've been on here an hour and a half. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything I missed. So, see, this is what I queue up all this stuff in my tabs, and I'm like, it's like I have to do a chat because I got to share all this stuff with you guys, right? Oh, okay. We didn't talk about this. Let's close it out with this. The rise of all-purpose antidepressants. I think the reason why I pulled this one up is to show you that they're trying to take our guns. And they're saying that people with mental disabilities do not deserve to have guns because they're liable to fly off the deep end and kill people. Well, according to this article, many people are on antidepressants in the United States. So why do you think they got all these people on antidepressants? Because any one of these people, they can basically disqualify from owning a gun. All right, I'll say that again. It says here, a third most frequently taken medication, 8 to 10% of the population is taking an antidepressant. 8 to 10% of Americans are taking an antidepressant. So as soon as they pull the trigger on crazy people who own guns, these 8 to 10% of people will lose their guns. All right. How are they going to get around that with HIPAA laws and everything? Well, that's why they came up with Obamacare, because they get around the HIPAA laws, because you're now in their system and they can have access to your medical records, and they know if you're taking an antidepressant or not. They know when you have a domestic dispute with your partner. They know when you have a bar fight. They know when you have a DUI. They know when you beat someone up and have an assault charge against you. They know if you have any workplace violence incidents. They know everything about you, and therefore they can take away your right to have a weapon. This was the whole agenda all along, you guys. I see it as clear as day. But we're not going to let them get away with that. Now, I don't support violence. Okay. When it comes to violence, I'm on the complete other end of the scale, you guys. My faith is so strong that if they come for me, I'm just going to let them take me. Because that's how strong my faith is. Because my treasure is in heaven. If God tells me to, defend myself, I will. I'm not saying this is for everyone, but this is where I'm at. Okay. I've done the work that I need to do. It's affected many lives. And if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. So in terms of the gunfight, I'm going to continue to call it out, but not because I think we're going to need these guns for some kind of revolution, because we're not going to win that battle, you guys. We're not. All right. All right, you guys, I think we'll check the chat one more time and kind of wrap this up. Let's see here. Natural chocolate. Yes. Chocolate's actually really good. Tasty. It's good for you. Prozac. Ruined my brain. Yes. Yes, Cassiopeia. I'm going to share a little story with you guys. I was on an antidepressant several years ago. I was going through problems in my marriage, and it definitely changed my brain. And you never really fully recover from it. And so this is, you guys don't want to be on this, you guys. There's other ways to deal with depression, okay? One is letting go of the things you think you need. Codependency is of the enemy, okay? We don't own anything. The only thing that you can be codependent on is God and the Holy Spirit, okay? He will be there for you. You just have to believe with all your heart and your soul and your mind, okay? All right. Lash love. Okay, 225. You want to see a picture of me? I'll send a picture if you want. Enter the stars at yahoo.com. If you think I'm fat, cool. It's funny, the kind of, sometimes the people that come in here, bacteria. Yeah, get off all prescription drugs. You don't want to put anything into your body unless it's growing out of the earth somehow, or is walking on the earth, okay? So most of that is fair game. All right, let go and let God. Yeah, you find perfect balance and peace. I have it, you guys. You guys are very much a part of that, because when the more love you give, it's like a little cycle. Not that you expect love in return, but it fulfills you. It's amazing. Like, I wake up each and every day, and I can't wait to get on here and talk to you guys and put up videos and stuff, And then I try to share that with you so that you guys can be also mirrors of love and light. And I got burned, but I haven't given up. Okay. I just got to